you know, the QUBE are not there yet when it comes to their progression.
Yeah, I mean, Atox actually just recently placed second at the Zowie Extreme Lands Asia Open. Like, you know, we're not going to beat around the bush. There weren't some... Like, the general quality was wavering, but it did have a lot of these ECL level teams in that LAN, and it's a massive result for them, but they're definitely kind of above the QUBE. The QUBE seem to be, I'd say, like the worst professional Mongolian team right now. That's, I think, unfortunately how I would place them. But we're on Ancient. We're on the second map, 72C. This is actually where they beat Rare Atom, so I'm expecting big things from them. Starting on the CT side, they're actually off to a really good start. Just a spam through the smoke. Paranormal's down. Unfortunately, only one kill for Bayek before he gets traded. And the QUBE actually potentially look to have the advantage here. It's just all about if this boost can activate from Spira.
That's a nice clear on the flanker as well. That's Barosto. They're probably the main man you want to put down now out of the round. Nice little tap on toward the cave player from Inhuman, but he needs to find two more. And they're jiggling him out correctly thus far. And a nice headshot to finish it off by. And Selmo, 2 for him, 2 for Cursed. And the map of Ancient, our second best of one, goes pretty well.
Much better start already. They didn't win any pistol rounds on Mirage. That wasn't necessarily the issue, but those pistol rounds definitely could have changed maybe the early stages of the halves. So this is much better from the QUBE, and minus 72C, they're actually going to take a full eco here. They are not going to invest anything into this round, so they'll be on to the full purchase next. But they do have this cool eco play, where they've got 2 flashbangs potentially coming in over A, but with no sound being made, when are they going to go off? The timing, I don't know what the timing was, maybe it was just a feels moment, but they do at least get 2 kills now. Any more? Ooh.
My goodness.
You're so lucky to be alive there. So lucky.
In another universe, they could have absolutely just lost to that full eco, I think. There was a number of opportunities where they could have had a much more significant advantage. Starting the round nicely. That Mac 10 coming through bottom of mid could have easily been caught a little bit sooner. They were sort of dancing around back and forth. ADing with the SMG as you do. But in the end, it did get enough damage done to be able to get away with it. They'll get their 2-0 start.
I've actually played an obscene amount of Ancient recently. Our stack is an Ancient. Ancient it's just Ancient.
Do you remember when it came out? Like, so many people, I guess to be fair, same with like Vertigo and Anubis too. When it comes out and it gets released on Faceit for the first time, there are some people who just absolutely know what they're doing off the rip, and just, you know, you can gain hundreds of elo.
I was one of those guys. I learned all the util in like the first day, and just
there you go.
And that's when you can only Q3. You could Q3 maps if you were prom. So we just had a 3 stack of only 3 maps, Ancient, whatever. Anyways, we're actually into a gun round. The QUBE. This is, you know how you were talking about on T-side pistol on Mirage taking A and going CT. This is that version on Ancient. It's first gun round, go towards A with A smokes, and the reason why it's so common is because it works perfectly. 72C, the retakes been rather unsuccessful. They even got a team kill in the mixture. So for the QUBE, they've already matched the rounds that they had on Mirage within the first 3.
Yeah, slightly unfortunate perfect lineup between the two 72C players there as they went in toward that temple position. Will only be Inhuman to save. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, that rush A play, whether it's with util or not, that can be thrown in at pretty much any time of the game. Like, you can do it after you've already done it to throw in a double whammy. That can sometimes shock a team, because there's so much utility and presence that's needed in mid early round that, you know, throwing that in, getting a smoke down CT, just getting a plant as fast as possible can often make that retake, even though it's one of the most retakeable sites in the game, thankfully, considering how easy it is to get to for the T side. It often makes it very difficult for the CTs, and now they only have the M4 in play in this following round, and the QUBE showing some good protocols early map here.
Yeah, the issue with that last round was I think for Zetsky dies right away before the execute. It's like he pushes that donut smoke, and on the CT side, retaking A when you have mid and lane control, actually not that hard. I'd actually go as far as say it's pretty achievable, quite easy maybe at times. But as soon as you lose your opening kill and you go instantly into a 4 versus 5, you may as well just call it quits. Like that one kill makes such a big difference. Sometimes that shows how good a player is if he just over peaks, but he's making up for it. He was an animal on Mirage, and that's a great first Eagle shot. It's actually a 5 versus 3. I'll say that. Spirit gets wallbanged, and for Zetsky, some revenge is found. Won't expect 2 players on the bomb site. Does do well to clear 1, but Barozzo, our player to watch.
Wow.
How has he gotten away with that with a deagle? Runs through the short smoke. He originally had pushed A main at the start of the round, and then he just pushes through a short smoke and gets 2 with the deag. Fair play.
That's just individual level, showing up and winning a random round like that, right? There's nothing much you can do if you're the Cube there. Sure, it's a little bit messy with the way they take it. They could have maybe ironed that up a little bit, but Barozzo shows up and gets that all-important double to help 72C to their first round on the board. This is actually like, you know, we both said to each other, this is probably going to be a double BO1 win here for 72C, right?
Yes.
But they're actually going to really want this bottom mid fight comes in here. Very blind, very awkward, but Barozzo looking clean with it again, even though he was low. I'll get back to my point in a moment, because there's lots of fights coming in all over the map. Solo will find one more and another. Looking very clean from him as well. And actually, he's got an open B bomb site to go toward. He knows there's a cave player. Actually gets tagged quite a lot through that, but the plant can come through.
By the way, Inhuman also got a complete wallbang from cave into lane, and then almost just wallbang solo. He hasn't seen anyone this round, and he's almost got 2 kills. But this retake's all on Barozzo, because if he dies here straight away, boom, we tunnel vision onto Inhumane. So we almost got to let Inhumane take the first contact here. Barozzo's low HP. This is such a difficult position for him to be in. And oh, the timing is perfect.
Way.
And as soon as he strikes, Inhumane also comes up ramp. That couldn't have gone any better for -72C. And both players had kit, so there was no worry about time either.
Oh, mate, if he just suppressed his ADHD for half a second longer, that would have been a freebie onto Barozzo. It's so frustrating when that happens. The timing gets the better of them, and that could change the way the game sets up now for the next couple of rounds, because the Cube are down to a lower purchase. Yeah, I was just going to say, look, you know, 72C are definitely going to want this win pretty badly, because sure, Lin Vision play tomorrow, so they'll probably get back to above them in the league again. But if they do win this second BO1, they'll go second place in the entire league. So I'll put them in a really good spot.
It'll be very good, because there's a few times against the likes of UR where they're very similar in the standings, and I think those will be teams that will be contending for similar spots in playoffs where, look, they went 1 for 1. So for -72C against these lower teams, it's really crucial they're able to just win 2-0, like they did against Looking for 2. Looking for Org 2. Looking for Org 2. Okay.
Yeah.
What a name.
There are so many looking for Orgs, I guess they wanted to be known as the second one.
Yes, the second one.
Anyways. The second of about 50.
Yeah.
Nice.
Barozzo's just so much better than everyone. He doesn't get the 4th. It actually is a spam kill through the smoke for Spiro, but he would have got it anyways. He doesn't even take damage. By the way, he just pushed an A main smoke, but like without any information, just decided to walk A main through a smoke. That didn't come into any action, but that would have been ridiculous if he got a kill off that. Regardless, he's on 164 ADR. He's 9-3. And Trav, I think you've made a pretty good decision in picking him as our player to watch.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I'll say it how it is. I think for everyone watching, but for maybe a few super fans, there'll be... Most of these players are an unknown to most people. They were to us, just not as much, because obviously we try and pay attention to most regions in ECL, and we've seen these players around and about in different qualifiers last year. But the only logical one to pick from ratings was Barozzo, really. Maybe Zetsky if we were to look at it in a different way. But yeah, Barozzo is the main man. And you know what? He's doing it again. Oh, he could have got 3. Inhuman takes the last toward B. Beautiful work from him. Stolen some of those kills, but It's a perfect team hold.
I'm shouting out Bayek. I think he was the one who threw the flash. He throws the very simple flashbang over mid, which doesn't get thrown as much as I expect, where you just kind of throw it between Donut and the CT wall, or the default wall, and it blinds everyone. So Brozzo, you know, great individualism, not taking that away, but great utility and supporting. -72C, I kind of noticed it on the CD side of Mirage. Look, they are very individual of how they take their duels, but rotations are really good, and the team play is actually pretty decent. Unfortunately, though, Brozzo, he has just been left out to dry. He never expected Kamui to be coming through Donut there. That's a big misplay. And speaking about the team play, we are just running in very single file right now.
Oh, God.
That is inhumane from inhuman. And I don't know how, Trav, but we're in a 3 versus 3.
They shouldn't really be in this round, I feel like, -72C here. The Tech 9 should be able to do some work. It's really good damage, but it's still a Tech 9 to worry about. Oh, he's out of bullets. That saves them. -72C get the retake in, and I'm not really sure how. It has to be said. The QUBE had so much presence and advantage early round there with that opening kill on Barosto, his first mistake in quite a few. And it didn't look like they had anyone really that quick on the rotation. And once that kill comes through toward Donut, when Inhuman drops off of the mid ledge, you think, okay, he's pretty low now. I don't think there's going to be much to work with. But no, he gets away with it, and the retake comes through. And I'm afraid right now, Paranormal, yet to get off the mark, is not helping things.
Yeah, just such crazy rounds. And what's good, I guess, for the city side is that, look, it's not just Barozzo. He's the first to fall, and they're still able to make it work without him, which is a very important little aspect. Forzetsky has just got ahead of this util in cave without being spotted, and even though that was a nice flash play from Anselmo, doesn't matter. He gets brought down by the sharpest fang, and with this re-aggression towards B ramp, we have no map control for the QUBE, a man disadvantage, and Forzetsky, he doesn't get away, but we've still got trouble coming through from middle, and even though Kamui has taken space towards cave, everyone around him's dying.
Yeah, space is not really that good when you don't have the bomb anywhere near you, and that's obviously on the back of Cursed, sure, in their possession, but gonna have to win a duel. That smoke isn't... Yeah, I don't know what that is. That's hit the corner of the brickwork there on the edge of the door, and that could give Cursed an opportunity to hit a no-scope, but no. Inhuman manages to take it, and that leaves Kamui quite a way away. He's going to need Kamui Kobayashi to recover this round, I think, and I'm afraid he's not going to be able to do anything from that position. Spira grabs that one. And that's at least a tie on the half confirmed.
By the way, the QUBE won the pistol round and the first gun round.
Yeah.
That's all they've got.
Yeah. That's all I've got for you, yeah.
Yeah. We're just rebuying as well.
I mean, util's bad, but they can get weapons. So.
We've got to that stage, Trav.
No, I know. Like, I mean, to be fair, first map started that way until like round 6, but
yeah, that was different though. Like, they at least got the bomb down. They got damage. Here, you've got great money from the CT side, but hey, maybe the repurchases are the way forward. We're yet to get an AWP out for -72C. Doesn't seem like Forzetsky's really needed it. And, well, because he wants to go for plays like this. Looking for that second player who boosted up solo. Doesn't quite find him, but his teammate does. We've got commotion towards B ramp, but that's opened a lot of space up in middle for Paranormal and Kamui to start walking towards this A bomb site. Paranormal's yet to get a kill in this game, Trav, but look at this continuous proactive gameplay from the city side. They never stop moving, so because of that, the QUBE are already being flanked through Donut, where they've just come through.
Barosto, the main man. The QUBE have parred their way pretty nicely into the position they're in, but the bomb is again the thing that's disconnected, and it's allowing 72C to creep up and kind of encircle them. And there's another one that goes their way. Oh, Spiro will get taken down, but Barosto's now on the scene, and Paranormal 0 and 10. He went down. It's just Kamui. And he's just in the open trying to fight for his life on 14 health. Super awkward. And Barosto's sort of playing with his food right now. I don't think he knows at all how low Kamuri actually is. We'd have committed to it a lot sooner.
I think he's still in A main.
And they've seen him now. And yeah, you're right. They think there's still one more player that's in that position on the big flank. Barosto takes it comfortably. 2 kills for him and 7 on the board for -72C. And it's right. It's a small factor, but like early round, it's definitely quite a significant skill to be able to fight around lane outside B and not get caught from the site or from Jag or from Shelf while you're fighting someone else. And that's something that QUBE wasn't able to do that.
Yeah, like you've got to play it boosted up, holding towards long. You've got to play it in ramp, and you're just kind of letting someone walk down lane. Bit of an oversight, but that was a perfect 3 versus 3 played, and I think the City side just make it so difficult to play against. They never stop moving. They're always prowling around the map, but in this situation, early round, all goes against 72C.
Okay.
Okay, Spirit has just run through the Red Room smoke alongside Inhuman. It's still a man disadvantage throughout all of that heroics because of how bad the first 10 seconds were. But is this retake possible? Apparently so, because Spirit on 14 HP has plot armor, and Paranormal, who's yet to get a kill, is on a Tech 9. Solo is only on a Galil. And they still don't know about Inhuman, but that's the first kill for Paranormal. He's on the board. Maybe he doubles his kills. Well, it wouldn't be double because he didn't have any, but he gets onto 2 potentially if he is able to get his kill on Inhuman. And, ooh, we have a smoke for the bomb. We've mollowed short. No way this is winnable. The bomb's planted for long, and okay. We finally get the first round after conceding 7 in a row.
If that smoke was a tiny bit deeper and actually a little bit further to the right, like, it's a very small detail, but smoking the bomb straight up there and trying to get that smoke into the little crevice where the bomb was planted doesn't block off your walk to the bomb. There's still a gap on the right. So if he right-clicked it a little bit deeper, a little bit further toward the right-hand side of the site, maybe he actually would have crossed without being seen, and he wouldn't have been instantly dinked, and he could have maybe got a defuse going. So there was definitely a possibility that he could have got toward that defuse, but not to be. QUBE get away with the round, and they could even still get 5 at the end of the half here because they're once again going super aggressive toward A. Spira can't do anything. Again, they've got the opening. Again, with just pure W holding. They're getting away with it, but there are kills coming through smokes, and Cursed realizes that he needs to get that bomb planted, and he might. All the spams, just gets away with it.
I really did not think that bomb was going to be planted because this Molotov that only just comes in, that is the reason why I thought the bomb was going to get denied, that they were able to push close to that smoke, but instead, we actually go into a very winnable 4 versus 4 post plant with CT smoke being replenished. That blocks off Bayek, but he's going to use his utility to push his teammates out of donut. 3 come bounding out, smoke on the bomb, and Selmo's actually going for a late lurk around CT. In the meantime, though, the defense is holding. 5 rounds at the half. Will this be enough, potentially? Or will it be -72C? Find out after the break.
distractions behind. I will be. In the meantime, I'll blindfold my pride and keep hold of my time like it's gold. Fading from color, reaching to find where the wonder hides. Saying we're all fine, why should I waste the time? Fading from color, stuck in the backseat and told to drive.
If you wanna be my love, only gotta take it slow. If you wanna be my love.
The QUBE once again with a decent showing on their T side, but we know that the CT side might be a little bit more difficult for the underdog. 72C now onto that T side with some utility on this pistol. I expect them to pull away here.
I expect, but hey, the QUBE, that's a really good end to the first half. It's best case scenario after losing 7 in a row, but this T-pistol round's looking pretty good. The players on the bomb site subjugated into the corner, subjugated, just stand on each other's toes there. And it's such an easy double entry for Bayek, who, all things considered, has been one of the more quieter players for this series for 72C, because everyone else has taken all the kills. So that's a massive start to the second half for him. Okay, this pistol round could spell disaster.
Kamiri looking for some kill reward at least, but he's locked in that cave and there's no key to let him out. He's been swallowed by 72C. And Borosto will get the final kill. 16-6, upping his tally and upping his rating ever further. Very solid to start. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it looked like the QUBE wanted to push forward and maybe play a certain setup with those three players, right? But they kind of walked into the push as it was happening. It was the worst timing possible because they just had no idea where to position themselves once minus 72C were running in. Shot, I guess.
Okay. Bonk. Wait, Forzetski's also been dinked by the 5-7 in mid. Surely not. No, don't. We're not losing to literally a Felico, are we?
I mean, Inhumans made the right decision there by dropping the bomb to a teammate so he can play and push up close with the MAC-10. Does get planted obviously a little bit dangerously considering he's low HP. Could obviously have been a few bullets come through those smokes and taken him down, but they figured it out. Poor Solo.
Okay. That got scary. I feel like honestly, in this kind of level of Counter-Strike, I'm always scared about those rounds, Trav. I'm always a little bit tentative. I'm always like, the Eagles. But look, we're 9-5. We've won the second pistol round. 72C. They're looking like they're going to end this quite cleanly. And even this first gun round, look, the QUBE won the first gun round on the first half. And that was one of their only successes. So even winning this first gun round for me isn't proving that much, but losing it, oh, that's basically that potentially is game over. And this is looking very favorable for QUBE because 72C very reminiscent of what was happening on Mirage of we're just abusing and we're just trying to push things. We're trying to say that we're better. But issue is if you're pushing through smokes like that, it's spelling disaster. However, Barozzo had a quiet end to the first half. However, he's still 18-6 and he's still just taken all of the liberties towards A.
Yeah, had so much space there in toward Temple. Completely catching Paranormal off guard, and Barosto will help out in toward Jaguar as well. Sure, Baek was only 4 HP in there, but doesn't matter when you've got a bit of teammate support to take the attention away and even get the kill for you. And Selma and Curse trying to work their way in, but it's just not working out for them. And now I think they know that he's stuck in toward Temple. He's got himself out, but he's a couple of bullets away from death. A little bit whiffy, but he gets it there in the end. That's up to 20 again for Barosto. He's actually looking at what could be a very similar KD to map 1. Same pattern is happening here.
Crazy good, man. But then, as you mentioned, the region is really unfortunate for 72C, and there's actually no qualifiers really right for the RMR. It's going to be online maybe as well, and there's only one team from East Asia, so I don't think 72C can even really actually compete in the qualifier because of just VRS. And it actually, the cutoff's April, and this league ends in May. So no matter how well you do in Challenger, it won't even apply to the upcoming major cycle, which is really quite unfortunate. So for 72C, they're looking like potentially a strong playoffs team that could maybe upset. We saw Insanity in South America. They upset, right? That was a team that took down a lot of the top dogs. They didn't make it massively far, but they beat Imperial in the best of 3. That's a massive result. They took maps off. That. Yeah, they took maps off Fluxo, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And then obviously in Europe, you had like the Sangao lower bracket run. And unfortunately for 72C, no matter what they do here, it doesn't affect the upcoming major cycle. And that's quite an unfortunate situation. But keeping at the game at hand, it was not even a full investment. It was a half investment for the QUBE. But it's looking like their best opportunity they've had in a long time, as it now actually is a 2 versus 1.
Yeah, no kit, but time. Still on their side for now. Inhuman, or he is going to be backing into the open. Going to get caught, but actually that's not even needed at all in the end. Paranormal actually plays that round very well, and plays that final duel very well to get a triple and up his tally to 5. That's very handy for him. And it keeps the QUBE going on CT, trying to close the gap once again. And you're absolutely right. I mean, like, Brosto and I think Forzetsky, I'm pretty sure, the two like main men, really, on -72C. They've both been on the team since August 2023, which is now, like, a year and a half, which is pretty crazy, right? That time's gone quickly. The other day in a podcast with Yumi and King T, I used nostalgia for something that happened in 2023. That scared me greatly. But like, that's a long time to be on a
scared me.
That's a long time to be on a team like this and continue to play your trade, because as you say, you've got no other option unless a real big team comes in for you, which is very unlikely that you're gonna take a risk on someone who's been farming in this region. Usually you take risks on people that farm in the EU. I mean, one very good example right now would be Molodoy, for example. I could see someone taking a risk on him at some point. It's like, it wouldn't even be a risk, I feel.
He's crazy.
But he's like, that's just why it's tough for these guys. Good openings in this following round, though. 11 should be on the board soon, just as long as they hold on to this man advantage.
ALV is another one. He's actually had a risk taken on him going up to 9 pandas. I remember seeing that name at the start of the year being like, who?
Who?
And then I saw his stats and I was like, oh, okay. Also, how do you pronounce... I think me and Brandon yesterday called Melody.
I mean, I just saw the doy at the end. I want to say Molodoy because it just sounds more fun. But Molody does sound a little bit better, to be fair.
I don't know. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Do you know... so, Kaiosuke, apparently it's Kyosuke.
Kyosuke, okay.
But then everyone's calling him... everyone's still calling him Kyosuke. So I kind of did one game of calling him Kyosuke. And it's just so hard. I don't know if you have it, but when you calling someone by one name and then just out of nowhere have to like switch it up.
It's hard, man.
Yeah.
I agree. I've been there before. Like, that's why I usually try and like get myself addicted to a certain pronunciation very early. Like, for example, if I was ever doing a solo cast back in the day on my own stream or something, and I'd ask, like, there was a few viewers in there, I'd say, listen, how do you pronounce this? I need to know. Any fans in here that know? So it gets like instilled into my memory bank forever. But yeah, I mean, like, melody sounds more like melody, so that's why I get it. But I just said Molodoy because that's kind of how it's spelled, you know?
Yeah. I'm probably not the best to ask. I'm quite renowned for getting people's names wrong. But regardless, QUBE, they actually didn't let anyone save in that previous round. So this is the make it or break it round for QUBE. Luckily for them, though, that deep donut smoke couldn't come any slower. So for QUBE, they've actually been able to get an opening kill, which makes this retake, even though they've got no kit, even though they've got no utility and lower weaponry, it's very winnable, with Spirit also being tagged down. Trav, we might not be over just yet.
Alright, again, it's just lack of a kit, though. That's the thing that's going to cost them. So much damage done, 1 bullet needed. Borosto knows it, but he will get swung upon. Now it's interesting because time is ticking down. Kills are coming through, and Human's gone down. Can they get to the bomb in time? I think they did.
Yeah, just about. Yeah, they got a good few seconds left. Oh,
They did.
okay.
By about a second and a half, I think.
Yeah, that was a really good retake, and it's just as I said, like you get that opening kill. 72C also took no real map control. A main, they had no control. Temple, they had no control. Obviously, no control in Donut, and they, because that deep donut smoke comes in so late, they ended up re-smoking the entrance of Donut. So you've just wasted a smoke there, which could have been very valuable in the later portion of that retake. And especially when there's no kits on the board, just whittling down that clock is the aim of the game. So for QUBE, fair play to them. They're making Ancient look a lot more contestable. They're winning some of these late rounds, which is what we critiqued of them on Mirage. But regardless of all of that, they're still 4 rounds down. 72C still look like the favorites, and they also just still do have a purchase. So from the frying pan into the fire for QUBE.
Some damage done again here, and these wallbangs coming through, but Fortetsky again gets a important start. It's going to force the QUBE to go looking. I think he's been spotted out by Inhuman. He's now holding the angle, and that's a lovely hold. And actually, see that little move by his teammate into that tiny little ledge cubby on lane there to make sure he doesn't get caught first. That's just decent team play and communication. They should be fine here.
We are walking into where the last 2 players are, but I don't think it's going to matter that much. And
Not
only are they very separated, but Brosco's also just nailed the first. And yep, just like that, Curse doesn't even land a shot. So, okay, I was kind of playing with the fact that, you know, maybe it was like, hey, this game is possible, but ultimately, Trav, we've seen a really one-sided performance here.
It's true, but I will give props to the QUBE. There were signs, and I might be looking back at, you know, if they do watch back this series, I'll say, okay, CT sides are the problem. Our T sides really weren't that bad, and we could have even had a pretty decent lead to work with on Mirage if we'd actually just maybe, I guess, ironclad some of these particular plays, and some of the whiffs that came through could have changed things when it comes to the scoreline. So they definitely would have lost both games, I'm pretty sure, but really haven't been they haven't necessarily looked like a 1-6 team or whatever it is they are now in the league. So this win for 72C will put them, probably not yet by the way, this is actually a good decent MP9 hold coming through. 2v4 for 72C, and now just for Oletsky left with the AWP, should get swung upon, and he is. So we've got some legs to this game yet. But if they do get this one round they need, that puts them up to a second in the league. Sure, Lin Vision have to play tomorrow and probably will retake that, playing against the Huns. But either way, they're one of those teams that you mentioned it earlier should make playoffs.
Yeah, we're really going back and forth here, aren't we? The issue is this ultimately favors -72C. Is there I've actually never had an overtime in these. Do you have overtime, or is it just 12-12 draw?
No. You have overtime.
Is it one round of overtime, or?
Do you remember back in the day? I was kind of talking. I'll get back to that in a second.
Yeah,
It looks like
we're just on
Inhuman.
B.
Oh my goodness! He
What?
didn't hear the player close right. They're trying to make their way through these smokes, but it's just not working whatsoever. They had so much progress with no result at all.
I will say, Trav, that lurk smoke, I have never seen a reaction to be running through it.
Yeah.
I can't say, I think it was Anselmo just bounded through the lurk smoke. I've never seen that before, and I don't entirely blame for the person who was entering originally. Don't blame him for not expecting that, because I don't think I've ever seen that happen. But hey, it worked really well, and he's got 2 kills. Spira also held for. We're going down to an eco.
Oh yeah, there's a slight world. There's some legs in this one yet. I'll have to see what Barosto does. If he really wanted to be cheeky, he could buy a Hero AK that could very easily win the game, but I think they might just play it a little bit safer here. He can afford a deagle at least. There we go. He's actually pulled it out. So AK in play. Yeah, I just wanted to mention, right, like, that used to be how that old Pro League system worked back in the day. Like, you'd actually play out a tie and you'd get one, just like the Premier League football. Like, you'd get 1 point for a tie, 3 points for a win, and nothing for a loss. But these days, obviously, we need a result on both maps. We need to find a winner, so we do have OT. Good trade.
Hero AK for Barosto. If there's ever a player to wield a Hero AK, it's Mr. Barosto. He had a 25 and 10 going into this round. And that's an AK picked up for Bayek, who, most importantly, has armor. Bomb dropped has been heard. Donut players close. This is such a weird timing. That is an insane timing. Kamui, though, is going to get them coming out of elbow. That's the AK dropped out of the second armored player, and Kamui, he finds the perfect timing. But Barosto, remember, he's still alive. Inhuman has picked up the Kalashnikov, but unfortunately, with no armor, they also just get lined up. And Kamui, he was the guy I said at the very beginning for the QUBE, being like, he is the one guy maybe to look out for, and he really has put on good numbers, I will say. And especially in that round, look, that could have got really dangerous. That actually could have been where it all fell apart, but he puts them on double digits.
Yeah, they're in with a shot now. These Tech 9s, don't get me wrong, they could very easily win the game here and now, knowing what 72C's individual ability is like, but if you go by the book, we get to round 24, Anselmo does well to stop Forzetsky from making his way up, and the CTs are dealing with this one very nicely. Sure, we'll lose a couple of kills, but now it's just Barosto with the deagle, and caught by Paranormal in toward that shelf position. We do get all 24 on Ancient.
This is it just me, Trevor, or has this been a crazy fast map where every round is just non-stop? Like, which
Haven't seen many late rounds.
Moving so fast. Very, very surprised that we've got to full 24 rounds. To be more harsh on both sides, it feels like not necessarily the QUBE have been playing amazingly, but 72C have let this one slip. This is a very nice mid-hold, and that's Barosto down. Trav, that's the main guy already eliminated. He will get traded, but Forzetsky, who's had a much quieter Ancient, only good for the first. Bayek taking a lot of pressure towards lane, but in the meantime, we are just simply walking out of this A-bomb side. Cursed is holding at range with the AWP, and he's going to be effective. Bayek still tested, but not moving towards lane. Man disadvantage for 72C, and the bomb, it was stationed to go towards A, but now it's actually retreating, and it's going to try join out with Bayek, who is currently trapped behind a smoke on ramp. And also, look at this, Cursed has read this round perfectly and has rotated over towards B.
They just couldn't get a trade to bring it back into an even scenario again. Every single kill is responded by the Cube. Impressively so as well. And now they have a flash and a molly with Cursed on the angle. As you say, picking this one to perfection. He's moving forward. That could be bad timing if he's got a blurry scope, but thankfully his teammate's there. Solo was on the angle, holding it for him. And you know what? We've got overtime between these two. That is very surprising, and a really good round actually for the Cube to help them get there. Our best little streak of rounds by far in the two BR1s we've seen, and the way they started it with that mid control, even though 72C had some protocols to try and answer back, they always kept that 1 kill ahead.
I'm just really surprised we're at overtime. The Cube, they've got the massive advantage now. Momentum so heavily in their favor. 72C, I will say, they had a very rough run of things when it comes to the economy. There was a lot of rounds there at the end where they didn't really have a full purchase, Hero AK and whatnot. So the Cube, they will have that to contend against. But Borosto, changing his directive somewhat, he just tried to punch out mid in the last round through elbow. This time he's going to be doing the same, but from heaven. They take a lot of mid control very early on. They're now replenishing that red room smoke, but look at Cursed on this donut angle. Spirit needs to be very careful, because if he just peeked into that orb, that's going to be an opening kill for the Cube.
Yeah, now this game, right, it's been loose, don't get me wrong. A fast game, but now in overtime, when perhaps you're running a little bit low on particular strats you'd like to call, could even get a bit looser. They are actually doing a pretty good job of slowing this one down ever so slightly. Spirit on the angle, great crosshair placement. He knows there's a second in toward Red Room as well, and now he knows the whereabouts of two separate players. If 72C know what to do now, they should be going in toward B ASAP, and they are doing that. It's only Anselmo here. He needs 2 kills. There is one, but he's now 6 HP. Should be forced away, and the nade will take it.
Oh, we're pushing with your Polzetsky. That's despicable. He's been having... He's not been as sharp as he was on Mirage, but he's sure still got his confidence. You know, his 2 players are playing the retake, or the post plant towards Cave, and he's like, don't worry, guys. I've got this. If he had missed that shot, though, a 2 versus 2 retake would have been a little bit more scary, but... luckily, he does land the kill, and 72C, it's Hayes' Law. They take the first round of overtime after being forced into it.
Yeah, the classic. Shout out, Mr. Matthew. I'll be with him on the ESL Challenger League broadcast for South America later tonight.
We've got all of us.
For the night shift. I think we're doing Tropo de Taco versus Sharks, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh, that's gonna be an interesting one. Do you see Taco? He kind of said he did put out saying like, oh, you know, like I'm not actually playing, I'm retired, but they're still amazing, so it doesn't seem to matter.
Yeah.
There's 3-0 merchants in CCT, South America, main Swiss, but over here in Asia Pacific, it's 1-for-1 currently, but Wallbang smites down Inhuman. A lot of contention early on in all of these rounds towards middle, but QUBE seemingly are continuously winning out these duels and now can back off with a man advantage, forcing people to maybe go for these unorthodox plays to try and offset the disadvantage that they are in. Orp's in the right position, but now the Orp has to hold by himself. 2 shots missed in towards Cave. They still know about Anselmo. He'll be taken down. And Bayek, he's had a massive resurgence on Ancient.
Huge round for him. Damage significant. If Kamui was full health, he'd give this one a look for sure, but on 17, he's out of there. 72C responding ASAP, thinking to themselves, okay, we've been in control this whole game, let's not lose it now. And it's come without Borosto getting a kill in quite a few rounds as well.
Or potentially ineffective kills.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was 27 and 10, so he hasn't got a kill in a while.
20, yeah, 20, it was definitely 26 and 10.
Yeah.
And he's not going to add any more here. The hunting and the saving is fine both ways. The save's actually a little bit more important for the Cube because now Kamui can drop over an AWP to Curse and they're going to have everyone on a full buy where maybe there would have been some things lacking elsewhere. Or no AWP at least. So QUBE have forced it into overtime, but unfortunately they have not yet put up a sustainable fight, even though they had the advantage in that previous round. And with 3 defenders on the B bomb site and the fast rotation, fools are very easily. I'm looking over at mid. The fights have been thick and thin over here. We've missed the elbow smoke. Oh, we've missed the elbow smoke. Forzetsky, he's ahead of it, but Kamui spots that it's missed, so he's instantly expecting someone to be there. Brosto, he's just punching his way out middle. The bomb has been dropped all the way in elbows, so sure, we might have the A-bomb site, but we do need to pick up the bomb, and that's what Inhuman's going to be doing. We kind of critiqued Brosto potentially, having not the biggest of impact in recent time, but he's heard you, Trav, and he's just taken 3 down with him.
Well, there you go. 30 kills now on the board. We're not even anywhere near around 30 yet. And only a tag. Cursed will get taken down. Spirit takes a kill, and all 3 on T-Cell overtime for 72C. Well, they couldn't complete it in regulation. Now they need only 1 on CT to get this 2-0. Both BO1s done.
This is looking pretty good. Would have loved to do it in regulation. Would have loved to do it a little bit cleaner. But for 72C, they're putting themselves in a great position going into kind of the mid to late end of this season. They lost in the first round of playoffs in Season 48, so now we're in Season 49. They want to go even further than that. The team's looking really sharp, and, well, will this be bomb site hold? Apparently, yes. Inhuman with a crazy double kill as he comes through that cave smoke. There's actually still a player in cave, but look at Kamui. He's between 2 players, now between 3 players, and they've all run past him. Will he expect Bayek, though? He might backstab these guys on lane, but Bayek still will go unknown, and because of that, Curse is going to walk straight into his crosshair. Kamui, even though he's hit 30 kills, it seems like it will not be enough. He's done so much for QUBE, a 1 versus 2, and whittling HP going lower and lower alongside the clock. Trav, this looks fairly unattainable.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we mentioned Kamui, like, before he went live, right? Saying that if we wanted to pick a QUBE player, he was a really good one to pick as well. He's kind of their main man by quite a way. And he's proved it, but this is going to be borderline impossible. 44 HP as well. Correct angle being held. Bayek knows what's going on. And you know what? He even hits the 1 bullet through the corner of the wood on the site to get this one done. 72C, at least for, well, just about 24 hours, will go up to 2nd in ESL Challenge League Season 49, Asia Pacific.
I will say, Bayek had a really